Okay. To go over what happened last time really quick, and then jumping right into the combat. Last time we started with the party rushing back along the road, trying to find the personal guards of the Akari family lord. After some time, you finally reach the location. The only clues left behind, a dead horse with a tear ripped down its side, and the very obvious movement of earth, seemingly kind of destroyed, ripped up apart. The ground turned from whatever dramatic scene that had happened here only, moments prior. As you all investigated, you realized whatever it was that attacked the Lord and his guards upon the road was large, enough that as it moved, it left behind a clear trail of pushed earth in its wake. Only finding the unfortunate quarter of a single guard left behind, you decided to track down the creature, hoping that it would either lead you back to its lair or to those that created it, as well as potentially lead to helping save some of the other guards. Doing so would be easy considering the clear path to follow, and so you did. As a group, you traversed through the swamps, keeping the trail in clear sight until you reached a spot of deep water, like a swamp pond that extended about 80 feet across from where you stood to the other side. Seeing the clear indication of the creature breaching and climbing onto the bank across the side, you decided to just go around, not bothering yourselves with swimming across, although it might be a bit faster to do so. As you were rounding the open spot of water, I believe Manon, if I'm not mistaken, you clearly saw a cascade of kind of bubbles breach the surface before settling with a low vibration atop the water. To the rest of you, as you all turned, you would see where the water was disturbed, but no indication that was anything more than, a fish or something kind of momentarily brushing the surface. Getting suspicious, though, you figured, why not throw something in to see if there's a chance the creature you were hunting was at the bottom. And so, Obak, you fashioned up a decent-sized log with a rope around it. The first throw, as you chucked it into the water, sinking, followed by the familiar bubbles and vibrating surface now that you all saw clearly something underneath the water. Pulling it back, you readied for a second toss. This one specifically spiked at the location the bubbles surfaced. Everybody else readying themselves, some hiding while others standing at the weight. Obak, a second time, picking up the log, you spiked it directly into the spot, and for a second it seemed a foolish endeavor. The log floated back to the top of water, the same cascade of bubbles, vibrating. Maybe it was some strange happening underneath the earth, and all seemed well. Until, as you started to pull the line back to recover the log, the creature rose up from the depths violently, surfacing and throwing itself onto the bank, sliding against the muck. Its massive frame moving the water and earth underneath it as it kind of slowed to like a crawling stop. A blend of what looked to be an elephant with long tusks jutting from either side of its jaws, and an alligator, the massive snapping jaws with many rows of serrated teeth. And now, as the muck and slime of the swamp slide off of the face, you would see, specifically Obak, you would see the protruding bone, much of the creature's skin across its snout either torn or decayed away. And so, as it happened, the creature would lunge towards you, the jaws spread wide open, about to snap down atop you. And that is where we begin. And let me switch things over as we jump into this combat. So, all right, that should be good to go. And then let's see. Okay. Whoops. Figure this real quick. There we go. All right. So we'll say for specifically for the fact that Torsten is currently not in, I'm gonna say for flavor's sake that as the creature breached from the swamp water, maybe Torsten was a little bit too close to the edge, as the massive frame of the creature just kind of slammed into him and kind of threw him right down into the muck across the way. And so for now, we will be saying goodbye to Torsten, as you assume, he's, just like, somewhere in this area, basically half covered in mud and water, right? Just kind of laid low, unconscious. But, so, as we jump on in, let's get some music going, and... Oh, sorry. Last time, I believe I gave everybody a single action, right? One action prior to the creature breaching the water, right? To hide where you wanted to stand where you wanted. If you would like to change your position up here on the map as it stands, feel free to do so. I'm not going to... I just kind of threw, characters where I thought, right? I assumed that Anisher would probably be hiding in the reeds, as was discussed. Same with Manon, kind of stepping up and out of the way. So feel free to move your token wherever you please on the map. And once we are all set, clear some stuff up. So, all right. So, we all good? And then let me go ahead and there we are. Okay. So, the reason I gave everybody a round last time is because this creature specifically has a single action turn as well that I would like to resolve and then jump right into initiative. If that is all fair with everybody. So, the creature has an action which I will post. It is Aquatic Ambush. Waits bottom of the water, right? Rushes forward, first creature it sees, and makes a strike against it. And the creature is flat-footed against this strike. So,
I wonder who it could be.
Yeah, unfortunate. So, we'll drop it on you. The assumption is that it just rushes right up to you, right? The jaws opening and snapping down on top of you. So let's resolve this really quick. Then we'll get the music going, and we'll jump into some combat. So, it is making a jaws strike against you. That is a... Oh, fuck, I did not target you. I'm an idiot.
Not a crit, at least.
Not a crit, at least? Okay, perfect. So, then... Big damage, though. So, we start out with 13 points of damage against you as the creature lunges up out of the water. As part of this kind of breach and attack maneuver, just snaps its jaws on you momentarily, kind of ripping away from the... from your, kind of your skin and flesh as you hold on to the Gisarm with both hands. And so, at this point, then I think it is best now that we, for sure, roll into initiative. So, right. Damn, not looking good. Shit. Shit. Okay. So, as we jump on in, you are no longer flat-footed, so I'll remove that condition from you, and we'll get some combat music going, and we shall start this fight off. So, with its first action, alright, whoops, there we go. Now, on a new round of initiative, okay, so because it has grab with its jaws, what it's going to do is going to use the grab action. So, last action was a success with a strike that lists the grab in its damage entry, which it does. So essentially, it just automatically grabs until the target of the monsters, until the end of the monster's next turn. So it has you grabbed in this moment. And let's see. It is going to attempt to, since you are grabbed, it is going to attempt to death roll you. The creature tucks its legs and rolls rapidly, twisting the victim. It makes a jaw strike with a +2 circumstance bonus to the attack roll. if against the grab creature, which is yourself, and if it hits, it also knocks you prone. So it'll make the attack. Because the grab is, if I'm not mistaken, a let's see. Just trying to make sure it does. Okay, so it doesn't have the attack trait. So unfortunately, this makes this attack at its normal bite. So essentially a secondary bite against you. That one is rough. And so it is 18 points of damage, Obak. It hits, so you are knocked prone. And as the creature's last action, it's actually going to drop you out of its mouth, assuming you are left for dead, so to speak. And as it does so, it is going to emit a low kind of vibrating roar, and even where it stands, you can see clearly behind those of you kind of with eyes on the situation. The water left behind in the swamp pond behind will start to kind of vibrate across the top as well, like slowly kicking up, like the like water near base. Right. That'll be the last action of the creature. What it did, you are unsure, but either way, Anister.
Okay, I assume I'm still in stealth.
Absolutely. The creature does not, as the creature kind of looks around as it makes this growl, it seems to only have eyes for Menon and Akaya. It does not seem to register your presence whatsoever.
All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do. All right, I'm gonna just drop my rapier for the moment.
Okay.
No cost. I'm gonna draw my crossbow as an action, and then I'm going to fire a bolt at the creature.
Perfect. All right. It will be flat-footed. So as you target the creature, I would say as you target the creature, we'll just do the mental math of +2. Yeah. So that way, because it's only conditional specifically for you, so kind of better that Menon and the Kai to make sure it doesn't, fish out some unlucky crits. All right. So, oof. So as the first bolt erupts from the bushes and tall reeds that you've hidden yourself in, for whatever reason, maybe the creature kind of ducks down, like potentially kind of like pushing Obak into the ground, and as it does so, the bolt seems to kind of hit off the skin and kind of ricochet.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a map. I'll take a -5 attack on this one.
Okay.
See if I can get it.
For sure.
Just while I'm still here.
Yeah. Unlucky rolls. Yeah, the second shot, for whatever reason, maybe it is because you are hitting the part of the creature, the bone that is already exposed. But as each bolt kind of plucks into the creature, it just seems to kind of bounce off. Whatever you're aiming for is just a little bit too hard for the bolt to pierce. So, all right. I think that is all action, right? Because dropping and then drawing.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. All right. So, Manon.
Okay, first turn. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Perfect. Are you doing it on yourself?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
And then second turn.
Oh, Arcane Cascade.
I'll go.
Which
And
is,
I will choose
piercing?
piercing,
There you go.
and that ends my turn.
Nice. So, essentially, preparing yourself, right, for what is to come. You ready yourself, both magically and, or I guess magically on both sides. Perfect. All right. Obak on deck with Akaya up next. So, we got this creature standing over you. You've been knocked prone, but you've still been able to keep in hand on the Guisarm. So, at the very least, oh, sorry, you are no longer grabbed, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, you're just prone.
So Obak will first kind of, very wobbly stand back up to his feet
Alright.
and kind of glancing behind him, not wanting his comrades to meet the same feat, is going to do his best to block the creature's further advancement towards more on shore. So he's just going to kind of make a loud noise and scream as he swings his Guisarm.
Perfect. And you have, like, if I'm not mistaken, the Guisarm has the choice of being either, does it not have the switch where you can do either, you choose if it's blunt or, like, maybe it's slashing and piercing? I think you have the choice between the two. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Alright, never mind. I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I'm wrong.
No.
Yeah, so, alright. Oh, to remember, the target is to hover and T over the token of the creature you are attempting to damage. Very nice. That's a big critical. So, it crits you. You stand right up and you do the same, right? And go ahead and roll damage.
Oh.
Unfortunate. But either way, let me make sure the creature takes the damage. There you go. Yeah, so you chop in, and as you do so, bringing down the Guisarm, you feel it break through the bone momentarily and kind of reach into the skin, and then you kind of pull it back, slashing, opening up a new wound inside the creature. The way it looks up close now, you see there are large pockets where like skin has kind of decayed and flesh is kind of removed from this creature. So your instincts tell you that there's something strange going on here. So in any case, as you do so, momentarily, like you're feeling good about the hit, but then as you look at the creature, you almost realize, like, holy shit, like you can't even really tell exactly where you hit because the creature looks so weird on so many locations of its body. So it's 2 actions, 1 to stand, 1 to attack. What's the third?
We'll attack a second time. Another strike.
All right. Yeah, feeling. Oof. Yeah. So, second one, you try to bring it in, and the creature's kind of ready for you at this time as you kind of raise up, kind of lowers its body, getting low and flat to the ground as the swing just goes overhead. So, all right, 2 actions, and then Akaya.
Alright. Obak is clearly not looking very well. So I'll cast Soothe on him.
Alright.
So at least 6 HP you get.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Go down for 6. And they also have the spell effect Soothe put on them, correct?
Yep.
So
you get a +2 to mental effects.
there you go. Nice.
All right.
All right.
And as my last action, I'm just going to step over here.
Okay. So you get yourself closer to Manon, right? Slowly kind of taking a few steps closer. Oh fuck, you know.
I don't want to go on.
Yeah. If I gotta go down, you too, right?
Exactly. I've already been down.
Perfect. All right. So, absolutely. All right. So, next round up. I'm gonna roll something here really quick. Meta-wise, this is a. I'll tell you because it's without like genuine insight, you're probably not gonna realize what's happening. This creature is very intelligent, a lot more intelligent than you would assume something of its type to be. And seeing, it looks past Obak now. It looks at you, Akaya, having seen the spell that you've put on to Obak. And so the creature, despite everything, is going to look to brush past you, Obak, a new target in its mind. As it does so,
Like an attack of opportunity, real quick.
all right, perfect. Unfortunate. That narrow miss. Geez. All right, so swing. The creature just seems to have this unworldly reflex to it as it kind of ducks down and slides its way forward through the muck, lifting up dirt underneath it as it does so. And it's going to make first action to close the distance right up here. But unfortunately for Menon, but unfortunately for Akaya, creature is seemingly all intent and focused on you. So, it is going to.
Sorry, I'm late. Please continue.
Oh, nice. Oh, perfect. Actually, this is the perfect time, because it is the top of the second round. So I'm gonna drop you in, and then you can roll initiative and be added to this round. For flavor's sake, because of everything going on, I had it so that when the creature breached the water, its massive frame just kind of bounced into Torsten, kind of threw him into the dirt, right? Just kind of knocking him momentarily unconscious. Perfect. All right. So let me drop you on. Add you to the. So go ahead and roll right into initiative. Nice. Okay. So yeah. At this moment, the creature, having already severely damaged Owak, looks to move past with eyes on Akaya. So as it does so, it is going to snap its jaws forward onto you, Akaya, with its first attack. It is going to hit. So initially you are going to take 9 points of damage, Akaya. And then with its final action, it is going to... the word for this is kind of funny. It's going to savage you. So as it strikes with the jaws, as it bites down, there's going to be like a secondary movement to its jaws. It clamps down even harder and just rakes its teeth along where it bit into you. So, having already hit, you'll take an additional 4 points of slashing damage. And that is the creature's turn.
Yep, Thorfinn will sort of arrive out of the mud, sort of shaking himself free, and begin sort of jogging as fast as his short little dwarven legs can carry him towards the fight. Sort of saying, "Don't die, Akaya. You gotta report back."
I will try not to.
So.
And I'm going to go ahead and cast heal as a two actions.
2 actions.
Do it at
Okay.
range.
So the ranged, absolutely.
So I think that's within 30 feet. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 2 action heal.
Perfect.
Okay, let's go ahead and heal 13 damage.
Okay, 13. So yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Quick refresher. Immediately as the what is dubbed the alligator's jaws kind of rake across, we'll say it bit you onto the shoulder and then kind of rake down the rest of your arm. Immediately as it does so, before the blood can really start to pool and release itself, Torsten kind of steps in, and with that heal, you immediately see the wounds on your arm and shoulder just kind of immediately start to closing up. And I think I think that is like a full heal. That was like all the damage it did. So, so literally, it just all you have on that. We'll say like the left arm is like ripped clothing, right, revealing the skin underneath, but no damage beyond that for the time being. One more action.
And then with his last action, Torsten will sort of begin sort of glowing slightly green, and he'll be sort of summon the spirits of nature, and he'll say, "Go get him, Obek. Nature's with you."
All right.
I'll cast guidance on you. Go ahead and yeah, there we go.
There you go. Nice. Perfect. So, all right. There's the 3 actions. With that, Anister with Manon up next.
Okay. Do I so I assume with my attack I lost my stealth.
You're still currently hidden, so you have a lot of cover over you. And it seems the creature is completely focused elsewhere. So I'm gonna say you're still in stealth for the fact that the creature didn't even look to find you, right? It didn't even bother like trying to spot you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then free action, I'm going to drop my crossbow, pick up my rapier, which will cost me an action.
Okay.
And then I am going to move here, catch this sucker flat-footed, and then I'm going to do a strike.
Very nice. All right, so jumping out at the opportune time, getting the creature on its flank.
And I don't see the modifier for flat-footed, so I'm just going to roll it as is.
It'll be automatic. It'll.
Okay.
Well, so that'll hit. So go ahead and roll damage. Oh, do you get any? Sorry, do you get any like special damage because it's like I know like investigators sometimes has like basically like sneak attack damage. Is that the case for yours or?
I don't think I have sneak attack.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, the 4 points. All right. Yeah. So catching the creature on its flank, you step forward, and the rapier kind of pierces through the haunch of the creature, right, the back leg. And as it does so, you kind of pull it through, and as you pull the blade back, it just seems to be covered in swamp muck, right, green and algae and such. But it'll take the 4 points. All right. Nice. So I believe picking up, moving, and then attack. So that's 3 actions. All right.
Yep.
All right. Manon with Obak right behind.
Okay. My first action will be to strike.
Perfect. Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that. Nice. Another 5 points. Absolutely. Yeah. Piercing forward with the rapier, kind of following Anister. The two of you just at the same time kind of pierce through the creature's flesh. As you do so, you have the same kind of muck left on your blade.
I'm gonna cast Daze.
Daze. Oh, nice. Okay. So the creature must make a basic will save. I believe that means it'll still take the damage, at least half damage, right? Regardless if it makes it. But let's see. So, all right. Check the will save on that. Very unfortunate roll. The creature,
Darn.
yeah, seemingly just kind of, for a moment, it seems the mind, right? You even see the color of the creature's eye seems to kind of shift momentarily before it just kind of rears its head back, kind of just shakes it side to side, seemingly kind of just throwing off whatever effect you attempted to instill upon the creature.
So since it critically saved, there's no damage, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's the case, right? It's if it succeeds, it's still half, but if it critically succeeds, no damage on base.
Okay.
Yeah.
That ends my turn.
Perfect. All right. So Obak with the Kaya up next.
Alright. Obak will take a step forward. And swing.
Damn, another big shot. So a whole lot of critical successes, swinging the momentum back and forth.
So, there we go. That's better.
Big points of damage. Absolutely, yeah. So, big time. So, yeah, you step forward and just a massive swing. You know, like all the way from the back, swing it right up over your head and just down into the to the tail of this creature as it spreads out, cleaving directly through it. The huge, thick, meaty tail just detaches from the rest of the body and kind of goes flopping across the ground.
And then it should be flat-footed now because I'm flanking.
It was already flat-footed. Yeah, it already did the since
Oh,
you
okay,
target.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Never mind.
or yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's minus to the AC, not plus to my strike. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I'll just swing a second time.
same time. All right. Yeah, unfortunate. So, the first one
He's forced.
lands. Yeah, the first one right through the creature's tail. But as you bring the second one back, it just seems the creature kind of rears back from the damage it takes. It seems to really recognize that as it kind of turns quickly in place. Yeah, it did not like that. But as it moves, its body just kind of twists around. Your blade, unfortunately, not hitting true. So, all right. So that was step attack. So, wait.
All folks.
All right. Akaya.
Alright. Where's my... I don't know how to do the action in here. I want to unleash my psyche. There we go.
Oh,
Unleash
there you
psyche.
go. Yeah.
How do I activate that?
Here, I'll get it. There you go. And then so you get the effect of unleash psyche.
Lovely.
Perfect.
I will use a... That's in that. There we go.
Kinetic ram. Okay.
That's in... So 2 action kinetic ram.
2 action kinetic ram. All right. Go ahead and. So the creature must make a fortitude saving throw here. All right. Distance is pushed. If it fails, it's doubled. On a critical failure, the target is also knocked prone and takes damage. Okay. All right. So I'll have it make the fortitude saving throw really quick. It's got a big fortitude. Yeah. So as the kinetic ram shifts forward and slams into the side of the creature. It seems to. Let's see. Target must succeed or be pushed 10 feet away from you. 20 on a critical failure. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So as it slams into the creature, it just kind of huddles down, sinking its claws down into the swamp and muck, and just unmoving as it just slowly kind of pushes and then seems to stop in its track.
Alright. That was my last action. There we go. Target it. Oh, Cyburst.
Cyber. Okay. So, with the passing thought, you direct. Oh, so it has to make a reflex saving throw here. Fails that. So it will take the full 3 points of damage. Oh, this is bludgeoning. Okay. Then I want to make sure it does it automatic. It might not. So if I just want to see if I do this, if it automatically does. Okay. So yeah. It seems that the Cyburst hits a lot more potent than you would expect on a creature of the size, right? The bones underneath where the Psyblast kind of connects with creature unable to move out of the way, seems to connect, and you hear bone underneath kind of splintering inwards. So, all right. So that is everything, and then all right, next round. All right, this creature is now surrounded, in a very vulnerable position. Actually, it did that one action in its first round, so one round by, and then okay. So at the top of this round, before the creature moves, what you five will see is up on the, essentially the pond bank, another large reptilian creature climbing up and out of the water, and it will be added to initiative this turn. Not too good. So, all right. Yeah, as that creature kind of makes itself known as it steps forward, crawling up and out of the swamp pond, this one is going to make a D4 check. 1 for Obak, 2 for Anister, 3 for Manon, and 4 for Akai. On who it targets. 3 for Manon, so turns its focus to you for whatever reason. So it is going to creature's going to essentially is going to thrash its head around, the tusks swinging from side to side, and look to gore you with the tusk. So. It will miss only narrowly. Okay. Seeing that it is surrounded, it is going to look to move, and is going to look out and actually see you, Torsten, from across the way. As it digs its heels in, it is going to look to stride. So, if there's any attack of opportunity, now is the time. Obak, do you not have a attack of opportunity?
Yes, I do. Sorry. Dang.
Unfortunately.
Wow. Okay, that one actually does hit.
Oh yeah, it does hit. It does hit. So
Surprised.
go ahead and roll damage on that. Just narrowly hits. 13 points, absolutely. Slamming into the creature. And still, though, it has its legs underneath it, so it is going to charge forward. So, directly at Torsten. It is going to rush forward. This strike is at it lower because it already attacked once this round. So this one will be at the -5 to its strike. But either way, it shall still. It did make the 20 feet though. So it does get the circumstantial bonus to help it a little bit. That
Hit.
just narrowly hits. So as it rushes forward, you also need to make me a reflex saving throw. Okay, so you do not. All right, perfect.
Knock prone, yep.
Yeah, not knocked prone, but I do take the damage. However, so 13 points. Creature rushes forward. The tusk of the creature kind of goring you momentarily before kind of ripping off, not piercing directly through you, but definitely piercing momentarily, and then just kind of shake its head, brushing you off. So, your turn.
Ah, it hurts. Oh, Manon, Obek, help me. I think that what Torsten will do is he will. This thing is still over here as well. Okay, let's go with this. Torsten is going to cast Tanglefoot
Okay.
at this creature over here, assuming he's in range, which he might not be.
30 feet.
Nope, he's not, I don't think. No, I don't know where you measure it from, but assuming it's from here to here, then that's 35. Okay, never mind. In which case, what Torsten will do is he will attempt to use puff of poison on this thing.
Okay.
He's going to go
Puff of
ahead
poison.
and cast this and force it to make a DC 18 Fortitude save.
Alright, it is a bit does have a pretty decent fortitude, but anything can happen. So
Anything
go
can
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. Sorry, it takes on a failure, it takes the full initial and persistent damage.
Okay.
Equal to your spell kind modifier and 2 persistent. Okay, so it just takes four poison damage, and then it will take persistent damage every turn.
Perfect. All right. So
And then Torsten will, for his last action, he's just going to go ahead and raise his shield to try and protect himself.
perfect. All right. So, yeah, absolutely. You the puff of poison kind of directly into the creature's large jaw as it kind of looks to unhinge and snap onto you. And yeah, it just kind of breathes it right in, pulling it back, kind of shaking its head. It seems relatively affected by this poison. So, all right. Up next is Annister, with Manon following.
Okay. I'm gonna move here to catch this creature flat-footed.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just strike on it on a rapier.
Perfect. That is a 26. It is flat-footed. That will hit critical. Go ahead and roll critical damage. Oh man. Describe to me, Annister, the way you seemingly put this creature down for good.
So as I charge with the rapier, and I give a warrior cry, "Die, you blasted beast!" and stab it, aiming for what I would assume would be the heart.
Okay, absolutely. And so, as you kind of, we'll say you step to the side of the creature while it has its focus directly in on Torsten, kind of rearing its head back from that poison it breathed in, before it has a chance to even resettle itself forward. You thrust the blade forward underneath the arm, just behind the creature from the back, and you are aiming dead on to that creature's heart, and you feel it pierce right through. And as you pull the blade back, there's a couple of moments. The creature kind of coughs, right? Kind of moves back and forth, kind of whipping itself before coming to a stop with a slow, grasping breath as it unleashes probably a bit of that poison as it ekes out of the creature's mouth as it goes down for good. So, good stuff. So that's one. You technically have another action, as the other large crocodile seems to be pulling itself up onto the bank.
Okay. I am going to try to devise a stratagem against it.
Okay, perfect.
Figure out where it's at so I can roll it right quick.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think unfortunately it wouldn't be useful because I don't think it carries over to your next round. It only happens.
Yeah,
the
you're
same
right.
round. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. I didn't think about that. Okay. Then. Okay, I'm just going to forfeit that last action.
Okay. Just see what happens. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Manon.
Oh, well. it's dead. How flat is the land? Can I see that thing coming out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see it just over Obok's shoulder, right? You see, yeah, because Obok is a short dwarf, right? So yeah, you see it. We'll say it just over Obok's head. You can see the scaled creature starting to breach from the water beyond.
Okay, then I will. Yeah, I'll go. I'll first action to stride,
Okay.
and then I will ready an action.
Okay.
To strike if it comes near.
Okay. So if it comes into range, you will have that ready
Yes.
action to strike. Perfect. All right. Obok.
Hmm. I guess I got a sudden charge.
Nice.
Kind of ignoring Manin's more passive approach to kind of just wait for it to come to the creature. Obok's in a bit of a frenzy here and will just kind of charge forward, disregarding common or a more measured response. And then my strike. No, I didn't target it. Whoops.
Yeah, that's the old one. This would be 29 is still a crit. So jeez. Right. Yeah, a massive amount of damage. Yeah, you rush forward, just swinging overhead, ripping down the grease arm across the top of the creature. And this one is not so sturdy as the other one, right? As you pierce it through with the grease arm, you leave a huge hack into the creature, right? Drawing it, kind of ripping it down. It does not like it. It reacts immediately.
Very nice. And then I'll get a second strike in with my last action.
All right.
And if I don't roll a 4, wow.
You hit.
Amazing.
Yes.
I will roll my damage and scream, "You're nothing! You're nothing!"
Yeah, you're nothing. That is. Alright. Slam a second strike into the creature, ripping it across the body. It stands, but it has two massive wounds. One especially large, blood already kind of pouring up out of the creature. It's halfway in the water behind it, right? So it starts to immediately kind of rear back, looking to kind of, the creature that called it forward is gone now, right? In this moment, and immediately it's already being hacked a bit. Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, let's make a check. I don't know if this is. We'll see how well that the alligator had control over these beasts. Okay, it's gonna stay. So then, it will. Doesn't have reach, so it has to step forward.
Oh, that's what we're all about here.
And that's an unfortunate scenario for the creature, because this might be it.
No.
Oh, you thought, dude. So it steps forward. The same, the open jaws, and it looks to snap onto you. So we'll make the jaws attack. Oh, just as bad.
You're nothing.
Yeah. I think it just goes for broke at this point.
Yeah.
Because of the check. Yeah, neither.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Oh wait, whoops. And Akaya. Sorry. Yeah. Already the introduced creature looks like it is on its last leg.
Move forward. And Cyburst it as well. How did I send it to the chat before?
Cyburst.
There we go.
There you go. So it has to make a reflex save here. And let's see if it does. It's basically a 50-50. Fortunate. Well, it's basic, so it still takes half damage. And you're never gonna guess exactly how much damage it needs to go down. So if you could, Akaya, describe to us as the Cyburst lays this. Oh, wait, whoops. Yeah, there we go. Lays this creature low before it has a chance to do anything.
I aim it exactly between its eyes. The piece of skin and bone between its eyes just becomes seemingly mangled spontaneously, and it just immediately drops to the floor after that.
Okay, perfect. So with that, this combat encounter is settled. So we will drop out of initiative. Our counter here. So I would say, yeah, the Unleashed Psyche, just to kind of play it off a bit. What happens after the fact?
After the Unleashed Psyche, I become Stupefied 1 for 2 turns.
Okay, yeah, so that's just, yeah. Then, just kind of play it out as, you know, as you unleash this, Psy Burst, it's enough to, crumble the creature before you, but then moments later, it's like, whoa. You know, you feel a bit dizzy as you stand there, having unleashed quite a bit of energy in this combat. So, with both creatures dropped, taken care of, what do you all doing? As you look around, the violence of the moment seemingly kind of, you know, happening all at once and then coming to a stop where all you hear is like the familiar sounds of the swamp, the bug, right? Whatever creatures kind of live in, the smaller ones. The water of the pond behind still kind of sloshes from the breaching of two of these creatures, one much larger than the other, but still, as the moment, this kind of fury comes to a stop, what are you all doing?
So this second gator that came up is like a natural,
Yeah,
like,
completely normal.
live gator.
Yep.
Okay. Obak would like to set forth to butchering it. You know, if
Okay.
he was a hunter back in the day, this is probably one of his, like, you know, normal preys.
That's what they call expensive
Anyone
chicken
wants it?
nuggets, Dan. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gator for supper, anybody?
Yeah. Immediately getting to butcher the creature that you basically butchered with your Gusarm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even say no rolls or anything. You just kind of get to hacking off, already kind of pulling the creature open and apart. So
the alligator, how well stable does its body seem to be? Is it like crumbling already, or is it is the corpse sticking around?
Yeah, the corpse is sticking around. It's not going anywhere. As you finally kind of get a look of it not moving and not in action, you see many parts of the creature were kind of decayed and rotten away. That's not to say that to say that the creature was undead by any means. Typically, in general, undead creatures seem to have a resilience against poison effects, and having seen Torsten kind of do that puff of poison and the creature react, surely it wasn't fully dead, but it may have been kind of sliding into that direction based on the look of the creature. But as it kind of lays there flattened out, the tail missing, right, strewn off somewhere across the field, the alligator itself. Well, if you want, you can roll me a perception check to investigate the corpse of the creature itself, because comparatively to the amalgam that you had previously come into contact with, this one is in much better shape already. And with a 15, yeah, as you check the body of the creature, simply enough, you'll come across what looks to be a small rune kind of imprinted into the creature's hide. And then in this spot, it seems like this area, we'll say that it hasn't been damaged in combat and wasn't damaged by the natural kind of decay it seemed to be going through. But this spot seems like the normal flesh of an alligator or crocodile. And I would say, not sure if it's been the case, but I think Anister, you've shared the rune that you've come across before multiple times. So I think, Akaya, this would be familiar to you as the same rune that Anister and Menon had found at the ruins, but also it'll be that same one. And Anister, as you kind of take a look at it, it'll probably be, as I kind of previously described, like in the same family of runes as the ones on the bodies headed to the crematorium within Mictlancost.
Pointed out to Kai and said, these runes are the same ones we saw back in the town. I think I think we got the evidence we need to show that there's something going on. It's not right.
Yes. How can we tell how heavy this thing's head might be?
The creature's head? How heavy it might be?
So
I'd
my
say
idea is to simply cut its head off and take that with us back to Mictlancost, because that will have quite the impact.
yeah. Creature's head, I would say, could likely be carried by, I guess it could be solo carried by Obak potentially, or it would probably have to be double carried by everybody else, right? So like if it were Torsten and Anister, they'd probably have to kind of each take a side. Obak seems to have like the sturdier build as far as carrying it for a long time. Same with like Akaya and anybody else. Like any matchup of the other two in the party, or any two in the party, other than Obak, it's gonna take two, right, to lift and carry. Mostly because the unwieldy size rather than extreme weight.
I propose we take a trophy back to Mr. Damn, I've forgotten his name right now.
Yeah.
Tesh. Mr.
Yeah.
Tesh. We could take this thing's head, and he will not have exactly much room to deny things. We could attach ropes and simply drag it back along the road.
I agree. I think we need to take that back, and then with all the symbols that we've collected as well.
All right. So at this point, you would have, I guess, potentially, unless anybody has another idea for what sort of evidence to pull from this creature, you would have three pieces of evidence. You would have the rune gathered on the essentially the altar that Manon and Anister found. You would have the creature's arm, I believe, right? It was the arm of the amalgam. And then you would have this creature's head. So, three quite convincing pieces of evidence, should you wish to move forward.
think we have enough. Don't you agree, Master Dwarf?
I think unfortunately Torsten is AFK for a second. Got some stuff going on. So, assumption would be that I think Torsten would be in agreement, right? Especially in this moment. You know, gotta get back. Plenty of evidence now, right? They can no longer deny. So, Anister and Manon, do either of you want to do anything specific?
I'm gonna go get my crossbow.
Oh
I
yeah,
dropped.
absolutely. Yeah, you go wander around the reeds where you dropped, and if you waited a bit longer, you may not have been able to find it, but you find, you know, about halfway sunk into the swamp already. Kind of pull it up and out, able to retrieve. Manon?
I'm ready to get out of the mud.
All right, yeah. So ready to get back to the city, out of the mud and out of here. So, Obak, it just takes you. Yeah, I mean, you lived in the swamps, right? You're real, you're a real Shrek-like character, so you're very familiar with butchering up an animal. So I mean, you take, you know, the prime, what would be the prime cuts of a genuine kind of crocodile, right? Some good crocodile steaks, in order to eat later on, maybe not now. So with quickly kind of taking care of that, butchering up the crocodile, how are you getting this head back? I'll say, like, with time it could easily be separated from the body, so there's no issue there. Is the plan to have Obak carry it directly, or is the plan to have two of the party members to you know, kind of back and forth, take turns with, you know, carrying it as a team?
I think we could, you know, drag it along the road with ropes.
With ropes? Okay.
Just to spread the load.
All right, fair enough. So, then if there's nothing else going to happen in this scene, we'll go ahead and switch on back to our home scene. There, and I'll switch here as well. So, all right. So, yeah. As fast as you dispatch this creature, you've removed its head from the body. You've wrapped up, you know, plenty of rope to keep it secure. And as a team, almost like sled dogs, right? Dragging the head of this creature like a sled behind. You following the trail that you followed here, right? Leads you right back to the main road. You know, takes a bit of time and a bit of work, kind of trudging along to the swamp. But yeah, make it back to the main road. You've got the massive head of the creature in tow. So as the five of you make it back to the road, yeah, take a bit of a breather and then continue on back. The path towards Migdalon Kos awaits. So as you do so, yeah, it's still quite early in the day. Still plenty of time. You've got yeah, a number of hours of sunlight. You feel that you could make a good portion, if not, you know, fully at least make it to the city of Migdalon Kos just as night falls. So you press forward, not wanting to, you know, be stuck outside of the city, but stuck out in the swamps, or even on a road through the swamp as night falls. So the five of you press forward. A couple of hours pass. You're getting good timing underneath you, right? You make it back to the kind of original spot that you'd run across the carriage of the Akari Lord. And you can still see the trail left behind from the carriage wheels, right? And so you're essentially just kind of following that back to the city. As that is going on, if you all could give me perception checks here.
That's my first good perception check.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then Canister. Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, Akaya. Yeah. As the five of you push onwards, it becomes apparent to you that somebody is on approach from the direction of the city. It is at this point you still don't have the city in sight just yet, but you see returning on the path that you are now kind of heading back, coming from the direction of the city, right? So towards you, you can see the horses kind of coming up the road. Even at a distance, it is familiar to you. This seems to be the carriage of the Akari Lord. For whatever reason. And behind it, there is an additional wagon. More of like a simple kind of traveler's wagon where, like a farmer would just have whatever items he needs to carry to and fro on the back end. Definitely, not a nice nice wagon by any means. But the two groups, or this, would-be caravan, I guess you could say, is on approach. You can see them from a distance. Do you say anything to the party prior to them arriving, or?
Yeah, I let them know that it seems like the Lord's carriage is coming round, but I think we still press on. Unless they come to a stop and speak to us, I think.
All right. So, alerting the party to the presence, and yeah, eventually the whole party, you'll see them on approach. Akaya is just the first to kind of get a line of sight on them. And yeah, and they're approaching. They're not rushing by any means. It's not like they are all out traveling at the top speed that they could, right? They're just kind of traveling the road. And as they you can see the coachman immediately kind of sees the group, and will kind of even from a distance of 150, 200 feet, was going to kind of wave his arm out, bidding you all to kind of stop, and because already the wagon, the carriage, as well as the additional wagon behind is on its way back, already kind of slowing down and stopping. And yeah, as this I guess you can call it like a train, right? The two the carriage and the wagon come to a stop. The coachman is going to jump off and immediately kind of cross the road and start to approach, kind of hailing you all to speak to. Previously he spoke to Menon and Anister, so I'm not sure if you want to keep that dynamic up, or if anybody new wants to step in to speak.
I'll let Anister continue to delay his.
Okay.
Anister and Manon.
All right. So yeah, the coachman kind of eyes on both Menon and Anister. He's gonna kind of call out, travelers, great to see you again. He's kind of looking over your shoulder. He sees the massive creature's head in tow, and you can kind of see him stop as he's looking to say something. His kind of skin kind of goes pale at the sight, seeing this massive beast's head. Well, then it looks like you've taken care of the threat along the road. Kind of looks over you all. I assume because Kaya got healed, I think that Obak, you are in worst shape, in the worst shape.
Yeah, probably. 11 HP, something like that.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of step forward. Let me help you. And he's going to reach his hand out and press it onto your shoulder, Obak. And you are going to let me see. All right. We'll just do this manually. You are going to heal for 11 points. or wait, sorry, 10. I was reading Anister's. So you heal back up for 10 points. So you feel this positive energy kind of escape from their hand into your body, kind of immediately kind of releases the pain that some of the wounds are left on you. So
Obak will give him a nod of thanks.
So I've seen you've slayed this terrible beast. Kind of looking around, almost expectantly, but there's a realization as it is just the 5 of you, no additional guards or anything. And there'll kind of be like a solemn expression kind of given as he looks over to you, Anister. So I assume then.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, we're the only survivors of the encounter with this creature. Your guards, unfortunately, most likely put up a great fight against them, but they were unable to defeat it.
Kind of looks down and kind of with like a heavy sigh. Well, then they did as they were supposed to, I suppose. Then at least they say they died in service to their lord. Wow. Thank you all then. Even on return, I had doubts that what I saw was truly what I saw, but seeing this creature's head now, and he kind of steps forward and kind of leans down, putting its hand atop the creature's kind of skeletal skull. Yeah, it was no imagination. This creature was real. Well, kind of thinks for a moment. My lord has already settled in at the Ironmonger's hall. However, they did send me back in order to help you as well as potentially help any of the guards. Seems you have quite a bit in tow. We can get this creature into the back of that other wagon, and then my lord told me to take no for an answer, or not to take. Sorry, don't take no for an answer. In bidding you all to ride in his very carriage. So,
Thank you. We appreciate it.
he'll kind of get ready and kind of lean down, ready to grab one end of this creature's massive head, and whichever one of you kind of steps in to help with. The two of you kind of lug it up, kind of carry it over for a moment, quick feet, and then get it down and into the back of the farmer's wagon. It looks to be like a legitimate farmer, just kind of riding the reins, seemingly paid for their services at the very least. So. Which I kind of look around.
Obak will assist with that and perk up at the prospect of not having to walk or continue to carry/pull this head.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as you got it there, it's like it's a relief already on the shoulders as you're able to kind of just pull the ropes off and kind of just set them in the back of the wagon as well, keeping the creature tied up, but either way left. And so as you do so, the coachman will kind of step forward. Please. Kind of directing with his hand, he'll step forward and open up the back of this a very fancy carriage, right? Probably fancier than I assumedly fancier than any that any of you have seen before. He's gonna kind of just hold it open and just kind of bid you all to make your way in. Sorry, a second. So, as the 5 of you climb in, the interior of this carriage, if the exterior didn't give it away, the interior is extremely lavish. As you sit down, the seats themselves seem to be not like a pillow set there for comfort. These seem like fully padded seats in the back of a wooden wagon. So, padding and the kind of velvet of the seat itself is incredibly soft compared to the typical wooden seat that you would find in a carriage, or even the pillow that would be kind of given to help. And so, for you all, I guess, all 5 of you who have pushed yourselves physically to the limits, crawling and running through the swamp, even though you are dirty yourselves, right, as you sit down, not giving a care for what, mess you may leave behind in the carriage itself. As you sit down, it's immediate comfort, right? Yeah, just the past day and a half, I guess, is how long has this been, basically? For the past day and a half, being on the run, pushing yourselves physically to the limits, fighting these numerous creatures that have, all seemingly looked to end your lives. The wagon, the carriage that you're in, starts to turn along the road, and with that, it is only a few moments later before for the carriage and the wagon in tow are on the road and heading back towards Mithalan Cost. So, as the 5 of you ride along in this luxury, is there anything you want to share with each other, speak to each other about, as far as the details of the investigation, stuff you have on hand, anything you want to get in line with each other before you meet with Kadmal Tesh? Because in your previous encounter, or at the very least, Kadmal Tesh is not going to be, even in the face of evidence, maybe difficult to sway. Seemingly, right, brushing off Torsten and Torsten's concerns with the leaf, and as seen previously, you do not get the sense that you'll be won over so easy. So the promise of money and all of that was kind of given at the start of this expedition, as well as the promise to investigate further, kind of rides on a few things. So anything anybody wants to get straight with each other before we are back into the city of Mithalan Cost?
I think it would be only fitting for our investigator to set the story straight for Kadmal.
Okay. So, next.
So he can present the timeline and the evidence that we found to him.
Yeah. Anister. What does that look like to Anister with the details you've been able to acquire? The ruins, the rune that was left behind, the bodies heading to the crematorium forge, the amalgam, and the strange creature made up of exotic animals that only found amongst the elite of the city of Mithalan Cost. What does Anister think is in play?
I think we have enough evidence to show that there's something going on. Now, who is behind it is hard to say, but it's obviously somebody with access to necromantic energies or spell casting, possibly, because of we have the first amalgam we ran into. I believe we still have the head of that, and then we have the head of this crocodile thing, and then we have found the evidence of the altar with the runes, and those runes that we found on the body of the amalgam crocodile thing that we have, and then discovering, before even leaving the city, I discovered that there were runes on some of the bodies that were being taken away that had died from sickness. So I think we've got quite a bit of evidence of something that is obviously not right going on at the moment.
Is there any any assumptions that Anister would make about the whole thing? Like, if Anister had to take a guess at who may be at fault, does Anister have any, even if it's like pushing on, small details that you've gotten, is there any direction that Anister thinks this might be happening?
I'd like to do a society roll to see if there's anyone that sticks out in my mind of the city that would be looking for advancement and stuff like that.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, you've been an investigator in Mithalon Cost for some time, right? You know many of the big names of the city. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a society check, and I'll give that a +2 circumstantial point. So whether you want to add it yourself or we can just mental math it. That is 29 total. Jeez. So, a few things come to mind here. One, the sudden memory, I guess, that most recently, the one to have a creature as large as an elephant and put it out to show is in memory. You remember this, because you were invited along. You went, and it was kind of like a display, meant to be in some sort of like a holiday of sorts. But you remember the one who had the elephant was none other than Kadmaotesh himself. At least most recent. That you can remember. That immediately that detail kind of sticks out. Like, oh wait, right? The last time a creature this exotic was on display and presented, it was sponsored by Kadmaotesh themselves. Beyond that, in relation to attempting to what is the word? Push forward with discovery and things of this nature, the occult, maybe having a little bit of a fascination in that regard. Let's see. $29. I think then, all right. Yeah, let's do it. Let me pull up the details real quick. So the family in particular, but one member of that family specifically, seems to have quite the interest in what you would describe as bizarre medical experiments and discovery. And so, as you rack your brain, the name of that family is... Alright. So, specifically, it is the Carranza family. But the member of that family, and I'll write this out in the Saturday group chat, that mostly sticks to mind, is Victor. So, Victor. There you go. How you know this? I'm gonna say, being an investigator, right, you always tend to have your ears open. And I would say, when this came to you, this is a crit. I should let you know. The 29 is absolutely a crit on this check. So, you remember seeing that elephant, seeing that massive creature, like, kind of taken off guard by it. And you remember Victor having extreme eyes for it, right? Like, and the family in general seems to have some strange, it's old money, very much a part of Mithalon Cost for quite some time. And Victor himself at a time was maybe had some of his discoveries found and kind of brushed under. It was a moment of the corruption of the city that kind of, swept aside. Something that, now, kind of putting these dots together, may have been best to have just let it be revealed. But old money is old money.
So I turn to everyone and say, well, the more I think about it, unfortunately, our patron, Cadmel Tesh, did have an elephant at one time. I've seen it in person. But my concerns is that we may be dealing with something dealing with some of the old family. So we're going to have to be careful how we bring this up, because I would suspect that Victor Carranza may be part of this scheme, or may be heading this. His family's very old, very well positioned in the city. But there was a scandal from years ago that has marred his reputation. He's not, in polite society, known to be very. He has some underground or underworld type contacts and stuff that we should be concerned with. Torsten, we're gonna have to be careful when we bring this forward. And same with Akaya, we're gonna have to be careful how we present this.
Akaya, any ideas?
Considering I don't actually know any of the local powers that be, I guess I don't really immediately understand the withgivings about this.
Yeah, the implications, at the very least, how high this goes. Yeah. So, I would say, and maybe this could be something that Anister just kind of relays to Akaya. The Ironmonger's table surely is the seat of power in Mittelancost, right? But that position, specifically, the Forge Master that Cadmel Tesh is basically an elected position, so to speak, right? He has a lot of power in his own right, but that position is propped up by the numerous wealthy families that were essentially the first to buy in to the experiment of the Ironmonger's table and this whole region, right? So they're the ones who are benefiting most off of the insane amount of resources that are being kind of stripped from the land. Each family kind of has control over a specific resource, right? Some has control over like the iron itself, others like the precious gems, as well as metals, and some just kind of like the wood and such. So basically the Carranza family is like one piece of what is essentially a consortium that props up the Ironmonger's table. So while Victor Carranza himself may not have the power to kind of do anything singularly, potentially they have the sway of the families of Mittelancost, and that is a power higher than the Ironmonger's table itself.
These
seem like dangerous accusations.
It is. So we'll have to be careful how we do this. We need to do it not very publicly. We need to make sure, and I feel like Cadmel Tesh will be on our side, but we have to be very political on how we bring these charges forward. We can bring the information forward to the central audience, but we need to have a private meeting with Camel Tesh, actual bring our concerns and our beginning of our conclusions that we have.
Manon, how are you feeling hearing this information? Seeing that the depths of this whole situation may go much further than maybe you were anticipating or wanting to get involved with.
Well, Marin is also an outsider, so they don't really understand the politics of this. I guess their main thing is like, why do we have to do it privately when I'm assuming Annister shared that Cadmo is an elected position.
Yeah. All that was.
And so basic, like, understanding is if we get the public on our side, then he has no choice but to act. Because given their first interaction with Cadmo, he seemed kind of like, I don't fucking care. So it definitely seems either he'll be dismissive about the information that we brought to him, or he'll get defensive if he feels like we're going to accuse him. And in his current position of power, that might be not a good idea because, you know, he hired us, kind of, so he has the power to, like, demonize us.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Manon's stance is if it seems like Cadmo's involved in this, we need to go around him in any way we can.
All right. And Obak, although having lost what Obak has lost, what are Obak's feelings on the matter?
Doc hopes he can find a hot bath and a place to fry up those gator steaks.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then after a couple days rest, hopefully get back out and push further into the swamp closer to his home. He's a little disappointed that we got so sidetracked and are heading back so soon.
Mm.
He was hoping he could lead this group that seems to be, better at investigating things to matter more personal to him. He really does not care about any of this.
Fair enough. All right. So, with all of that, and kind of having had discussions on exactly how would be best to approach the situation, speaking with Kadbao directly. In any case, it is not long before the coachman that is leading the wagon will kind of give a knock on essentially where they're sitting, right? And the echo kind of reverberates into the carriage itself. So essentially just notifying the five of you that Meet the Long Cause is just up ahead, and you will, you'll be there soon. And so if anybody wants to kind of just stick their head out momentarily, I mean, you'd see the city, Meet the Long Cause, just kind of looming overhead. The wall of the city, which isn't, massive or anything, clearly in sight. The open gates just kind of awaiting. So, yeah, only but a brief few moments later, and you'll be heading in. You'll hear outside of the carriage the familiar sounds of the liveliness of the city, right? The sounds of the racket that is currently in sway. people kind of selling things, the general foot traffic noise of a city the size of Mithilankos. And so knowing now that at the very least you are back, you are within the city itself, and you've returned before dark, so you still have potentially about an hour or so of daylight to kind of finish up what you're doing and see it whichever way it goes. So with all of these details in mind, and the idea of exactly how best to approach what is to come, revealing the information, and setting up the way you plan to speak with Kadmal Tesh, presenting the evidence and so forth. I think because Torsten is unfortunately got some things going on real quick, I think it is best then to pause here, and we can discuss this week exactly, kind of get the planned out direct approach of presenting the evidence, how you want to do it in any way you can. Everybody can kind of pitch in rather than kind of like just running on the whims. So we'll go ahead and pause our session here, pick up next time, and in the meantime the party will decide how they want to how to display the information. So thank you all for playing. Survived the big encounter with the alligator. Good stuff, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out on the stream and stuff, but I'll be back in just 1 second. So thank you all for playing, and just a moment. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. We had one player kind of out due to a bit of some technical difficulty stuff going on. Hope everything is good on their end. Thank you all for hanging out. Want to give everybody the chance to obviously decide the path forward, so I didn't want it to do too much in the meantime. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back this Monday with our session 6 of our Monday campaign, Valdiran Nights, as things start to ramp up, and we are looking at the finale in just a couple of sessions, so we'll be pushing towards the end. And that goes for every session of this campaign to come. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. If you'd like to get involved, potentially be a member of another campaign in the future, the best place to be is in the Discord, as that is where I reach out first whenever I am recruiting for the next cycle. So if you are interested, that is the best place to be. Thank you all. Hope you have a good one. See you when we see you, and peace out.